Are we back?
Hold on.
Are we back? Hold on.
We are back.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me just confirm on my end too. Hey, we're back. All right. Sorry about all that. That was. Are we live? I don't see.
Yeah, we are back.
I don't see the live chat.
I got it now. I got it on my phone, so we are good to go.
Where is my live chat?
You have no live chat. No
Nope.
live chat for the actual admin.
Give me back my live chat.
No live chat for you.
Come on, Sam.
What are you doing, Sam? Give me back my live chat.
Apparently I have to turn up my volume again. Hello.
According to this, we're not actually live. It's starting all the way from the beginning. I don't think we're actually live.
Are you on the video or are you on the...
Yeah, I'm on the live. Yeah, we got live stream.
Because I'm hearing you talk about how you're all the way back to the beginning.
All right, hold on. All right, now I'm live. All right.
All right.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. So sorry for the technical difficulties. I blame Sam. Sam.
I'm not the one with the dual core processor laptop.
Oh.
Hey, this
ouch.
is the end of 2017.
Hey, you're the one with a single core non-hyper threaded laptop I had to work on. But you, as
I
the
got that
operator,
from my
should have known the
sister.
limitations. Not trying to multi.
Notepad.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. So, getting back to where we were, sort of. Let me just.
Can we?
We can, and we will. Okay, so about that eating thing. So let's get back on that, right? All right. So here's the deal. As far as the VR videos or 360 videos, as they should be called, go for the eating channel, it'll probably be on a sister channel, and we're going to be going to a bunch of different places, starting out with our personal favorites, because a lot of these places we know some of the staff. And on top of this, we know some off-menu items that they will personally make for us. Yeah, that are pretty fire. Like, not like they're pretty good. Like
Yeah. And depending on the place, some more expensive than others. For
Some-
the same
some-
exact sandwich.
yeah, possibly. But nevertheless, it's basically going to be kind of like a commentary sit down, kind of just chatting it up and just goofing around channel, where we just eat stuff. But we're going to be talking about the food, and we're going to be, putting a highlight on the restaurant, because these are places we want to go. Now, that's going to be how we start off the channel. Now, actually going further down through the channel, we're going to be going to places that either A, you guys recommend, or B, places that we have just randomly found that'll let us film. Yeah, just little hole-in-the-wall places that no one's heard of, maybe even locally, just because. I mean, like, it's going to be a journey. We might be traveling a little bit for this one, probably into Chicago.
Possibly.
Possibly into the heart of Chicago. But
Maybe as far as Indianapolis?
possibly. Now, we won't be going that far in the beginning. We kind of got to gauge everything and get everything set up. But the point is, as far as our 360 video channels go, we are much closer to getting it down and set up for the eating channel. Now, like I said, we don't have an official name for it yet, but we're working on it. The eating channel is probably going to come first, and later on, after we learn from that channel how to record everything properly, edit it properly, get our talking points down properly, then we'll start focusing into car VR, where we will bring you into interesting cars where you can ride shotgun with us and see everything we do in glorious 4K resolution, whether you're on your phone or using a headset. So it should be fun, but it's going to take some time. Now, speaking of taking time, that means we're going to need a new computer, and quite frankly, you just saw why.
Yeah.
to do this stream, this is 720p stream, so 1280 by 720 is the resolution that you should be able to see this in. Problem: this camera we're using is totally capable of 1920 by 1080. That's 1080p, but we don't have a computer yet that is powerful enough to do real-time encoding and do all the stuff we need to do so that you can enjoy this in glorious HD, just like the PC Master Race wanted you to do at 60 frames per second.
The computer we are using is currently running all 4 cores, which realistically is only 2 hyper-threaded ones, maxed out to the brink, 100% for the entirety of this. Like, I've literally not seen one of them dip down below 100%, and I am doing nothing else. We are running at 720p.
Yeah.
At 18 frames per second.
Are we really only getting 18 frames per second?
It goes up and down.
Oh man, I thought we were at least sitting on a solid 30. I'm sorry, PCMR, we failed you. Oh.
Hey, how old is this laptop?
This laptop, jeez, when was I in college? Shoot. 2012. So that it's about 5 years old.
5-6 years.
It's about 5 years old. Yeah, you know, I got it for college and for playing Minecraft. Can you blame me?
Yes.
Okay, fine. All right, look. Point is, we're getting a new streaming build for when we do live streams. It's gonna actually have decent performance, so you can enjoy the live stream in much higher quality. And 2, we are going to be getting a better computer for when we need to render the videos that we record, whether it be 4K 360 video or whether it just be regular 4K video that I do on the regular.
And by the time it becomes more mainstream, be able to do 8K and hopefully 16K.
That's further down the line. I mean,
we're getting there though.
We're slowly getting in that direction, but that's 4K. 4K needs to become
a lot faster.
Well, first off, 4K needs to become the mainstream standard. Right now, 1080p is still the mainstream standard, but we're getting to 4K being standard. We'll take things one step at a time. We're not going to go 8K or 16K yet or anything like that. But the point is, we're trying to stay up with the curve that comes along with doing stuff on YouTube, which does cost, you know, it does have a financial investment to do it. So in order to do that, it's going to take time to accumulate the money. Now, I know that's where things get annoying because we get paid based off ad revenue. Everyone wants to use ad block. Hey, look, I get it. No one wants to sit through ads. No one really wants to pay for YouTube Red. If that's how you got to roll to watch our videos, then by all means, at least support us by watching our videos. That's cool too. But, go ahead, Sam.
Have you looked at any of the crowdfunding sources?
Currently, there's a bit of a debacle with crowdfunding at the moment, simply because like things like Patreon had a bit of a situation. They stepped back from their controversial decision where since Patreon is the most popular one, we'll talk about that for just a second. They had a thing where they raised the fees for donating via Patreon, and that was a big deal because a lot of people support channels with $1 donations every month, and that's actually the bulk of how a lot of channels get funded, is through a ton of people doing $1 donations. And when there's a fee attached to that to donate, no one wants to do that. So that happened, and then it unhappened, and we're still kind of sitting around. We've always operated this channel strictly by it's totally free for you no matter what, but that means we have to wait to accumulate the money to invest on our end in order to get the equipment to bring you content that might be more fun to watch. Now, we can talk about Patreons and stuff at the very end because I've never honestly thought about setting one up legitimately, but I'll write it down here in the notes.
Total us.
Tablet.
I've not seen anything.
No.
Okay, as long as it's not just me.
Yeah, no, nothing on my end either. But, you know, moving on. Okay,
Whoever that
so...
was, they're not back into the new video yet.
All right, so first computer we're gonna have to get built up is the streaming computer, because we do that. We have a lot of the hardware set up and a lot of the equipment set up to do this sort of thing. So we want to get the streaming PC going as good as it can get. So we're going to focus on that first. But moving down the line from there, hopefully we'll be going with a nice computer that I can build here at my place, so that I can do the editing on Vegas. So we can get things done a little faster, because right now I'm still rocking an older Core i7. Actually, it's a Linefield. It's a first generation, dear God.
We might be able to do it on the streaming PC for a little bit.
Well, we'll see how things go, but
Note for the audience at home, we are technically inclined. I actually own and operate 3 servers, although I think the one just died, so sad face. Yeah, Steins Gate, I think, just died. I'm not getting anything out of it.
Oh.
But,
Dang.
and then we're all decent-sized gamers who are actually technically aware. I run a 5-monitor setup at my main rig, and rock dual 750 ties at the moment.
so long story short, we know what we're doing in terms of building computers and such. That's not something new to us. I mean, I've been building computers since I was about 11 years old. Sam's been doing pretty much the same, and he's learning quick. So, you know, building a computer right now is really expensive for a few reasons. There's a worldwide shortage on NAND, as well as...
Andrew, you have a question.
Oh.
And sorry if my answer wasn't good.
Oh. Okay. What do I think about furries? I have no problem with one. I am one. So, rock on. Actually, MFF, a Midwest Fur Fest here in Illinois, is now the largest furry convention in the United States. How about that? Moving along.
I like the cold weather. We need the fur.
Well, I imagine it gets really hot if you wear like a fursuit or something.
Yeah,
They actually have air conditioning built into the suits now.
some of them, yeah.
But moving on, so we do know what we're talking about in terms of computers. And right now there's a worldwide shortage on NAND, RAM, and Ethereum miners are running up the prices of graphics cards, which is really a pain in the butt. Right now is like the worst time to build a computer, simply because of the shortage of parts, because people are buying them, whether it's Apple buying up a huge stock on NAND, or whether it's Ethereum miners buying all the good graphics cards so that they can mine cryptocurrencies. And the power supplies, yeah. So look, there's a lot of reasons why right now.
Not so much motherboards.
Motherboards, there's an exception. There are specifically like mining motherboards that people do buy, but point is that there's a lot of reasons why building a computer is a little too expensive right now, even for us. I mean, I used to build a new computer every year and sell the old one. Now I've had the same one I've had for about 6 years, and I keep it running and it runs well, but it was never designed for the kind of workload that I'm throwing at it at this point. So it's going to take time to get the funds to do everything properly.
That being said, we are very close to getting at least the live stream machine done. We need one more part and we're done, basically.
Yeah. So as far as computers goes, we're going to have the live streaming desktop set up relatively soon. So you won't have to deal with the buggy ridiculousness that we are dealing with right now. And we're also going to be upgrading the live streaming set so that the quality of everything is a bit better as well.
We're at 1356 and counting, so we might crash shortly.
Well, hopefully not.
I'm hoping so too, but we'll know
Fingers
about
crossed.
12 seconds.
I mean, granted, we had the live stream about the mola fish that went on for a while.
That was over an hour.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, moving on from that. Okay, so we have got the PC things covered. It's just going to take some time. Now moving on, plugging in really quick, my friend's channel here, Mike and Sam. They have got their own channel that they are trying to get off the ground. And I'm going to give the floor to you guys to talk for just a little bit. Remember, talk loud, or talk clear and concise so that way they can hear you. It's called Bandwidth Bandits, and that's all I'm going to say because you guys have the floor for the moment.
Okay, despite him saying we have the floor, which thank you, Andrew, he is actually a part of it. streaming to the world as we do our antics.
Move
We're
that
still a
closer.
little loosey-goosey on a few portions
dear.
of it. It's
So I can see
only
that.
terms as statement. So it will consist of myself, Mike, and Andrew, who you see here, as well as, if I'm doing my quick count real quick correctly in my head, 5 other people. Another friend of ours, Alan, who is also a very avid techie and building his own upgrading his computer right now.
I'm upgrading my own.
My cousin Josh, who is an insane gamer, running with a 24 kill streak at one point on average.
On what?
A couple different games. That's the messed up part.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well then,
Well, I mean,
we better watch out for him.
That's a fair question.
little bit of an ambiguous statement, but
Fair question, but like I've seen him do 24 or more in like 5 different games. Not all of them have a kill streak counted per se, but he's well off in first-person shooters. And he plays plenty of other games with equal efficiency. There's also a friend of mine slash ex-coworker. We worked together, we became friends through the work, and now we're gaming buddies. He actually went to school for game programming, so he has a very technical view of the games. We logged several hundred hours in a couple years of co-op gaming. Am I missing someone?
What was the other thing?
Friend Jeff will join once he gets a PC that can actually manage the stream. But
Is he ever?
then not my good guy, good, not bad gamer by any respect, but really bad luck with computers.
yeah, I've built him how many? How
Three?
many has he destroyed?
How many of
3,
those are
4?
Turd series though?
Okay, look, 2 of them were definitely not part of the Turd series. And by the way, just a little joke. We call them turds because they're really crappy builds. So we're basically polishing a turd to make them work. But the point is, he got them for free, and he still destroyed it. Like, leave it to him. This is the same guy I gave a power strip to use, and it had been working fine for me for years. He goes and uses it, plugs it in, 5 minutes later, it catches on fire. He's got the Hades touch. That's the problem. You can't.
He
you
plugged
can't
a hard
trust-
drive in and killed the computer.
Did he really? Man, that's
Anyway,
okay.
back on topic. So we'll be gaming major ones, whatever, realistically whatever we currently share on stream and Steam, or similar free games just to start off with. So Minecraft might show up, although we don't want to make it a focus. First couple streams were off Borderlands. We do have a YouTube channel that will be linked to after in the comments and such. We also have a Facebook page, I believe.
A Twitter.
Started working on a Patreon for it just so we can get a better stream machine, because for our streaming, we take the feed of each individual player and not only combine it into one like multi-screen, cut into quarters shot. We also stream out to each individual's stream on YouTube, Facebook, whatever they stream to. So yeah,
All right,
takes a bit of processing power, but we're not worried about it.
Yeah.
Mike, you got anything you want to say on this real quick? Or
It's a project in the making. We're getting there. It's also us trying to get a bunch of games that we all play that are also multiplayer. I know some of the games I play are a large thing of most of the group, so.
all right. So
Quick note before we continue. We have Andrew to thank largely for the name. It comes from the fact that we all use a high amount of bandwidth for one reason or another.
yeah. So, anywho, all right. So that is the quick talk about Bandwidth Bandits. We have yet to get a perfect selection of games lined up and ready to go. We understand that the gaming section of YouTube is heavily saturated. We're obviously going to try and do something a little different. Maybe it'll be enjoyable. Once again, it's an idea. We're going to play with it. We're going to see if it works. If it does, then awesome. If it doesn't, you know, not the end of the world. But
Thank you.
don't worry. We're just exploring multiple avenues. We're still always going to do what we always do. But there's no point in not expanding into other territories to see what we can and stretch the limits of. So, moving on away from that, back to the itinerary. So, fish talk. So, obviously on this channel, we talk a lot about fish. And I have been doing probably more than necessary amounts of fish vlogs. Because, okay, I don't know exactly how I got wrapped up in... Okay, I do know how I got wrapped up in fish in all of this, but it's turned into its own little monster here. And
I don't know how we came to where we are right now.
okay, yeah, there's a little joke called MTS. They call it multiple tank syndrome, and I think I've got the bug because... Let's see, I've got 5 10-gallon tanks, 1 40-gallon tank, and a 55-gallon tank, thanks to this guy over here. So, I got a lot of different things breeding, and I do breed for profit most of the time. And I kind of log my adventures about...
Which one did I hand off?
You gave us a 30-gallon terrarium.
Double drink sound, you want me soda?
Ah, damn it. All right. Well, okay, so we started off with the most ridiculous means, and then somehow blossomed into a little bit of a side business sort of thing where I started breeding different things, and right now I'm breeding a lot of different invertebrates. I've got the shrimps, all Neocardinia davidi, and then I've got CPO crayfish as well as white specter crayfish. Now, here's the thing. This channel has, for the longest time, been about reviews and tutorials. And what I thought I would do was mix my experience with these sorts of things and talk about reviews on products involved in the fish industry, because it still falls under reviews. And I would do tutorials about things that aren't well explained in the fish industry or the fish trade or fish keeping hobby, and try and do that. But then along the way, I started doing too many videos involving fish. Look, I know not everyone wants to see tons of videos about fish, but now I've accidentally started kind of a following of subscribers who come specifically for the fish videos. And I actually thought to myself, well, maybe I should start my a sister channel just for the fish stuff. And what I did was I asked the audience, all my subscribers, hey, how should I do this? How would you like me to do this? And well, long story short, the compromise we came to is keep everything in organized playlists. I'll upload all 3 types of content: tutorials, reviews, and things about fish. Now, you'll find that on my main channel page where everything is in one kind of playlist, and I try to keep it as good in the playlist as I can keep it, make sure it's nice and organized. So regardless of what you subscribe to me to, I don't expect you to watch every single video, because I know there's a bit too much of diversity on here on the channel. I'm not going to get anything on this channel past the 3 subjects, just to make sure everything stays nice and clean so it doesn't go crazy. I'm sorry, say again?
Quick review of 3 subjects of what? Fish?
Fish, I'm sorry. The main thing is really reviews, tutorials, and things involving aquatic creatures. So it could be fish, it could be snails, it could be shrimp, yada, yada. But as the thing starts to expand, I kind of want to show people because it's actually really interesting. And that's why I do the fish vlogs, but I understand I've been doing a lot of it. So I've been thinking to myself, maybe it might make more sense to do something like Fishy Fridays, where I only upload fish vlogs on Friday. That might be a good idea, a good way to handle it. I don't know. I'm still toying with the idea. Are you really giving the microphone its own way?
Only...
We have some wonderful people in this chat.
Jason?
Gingerbread. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Jason. But moving on. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff involving fish that's probably not going to change anytime soon because of the way things requested it. But that does bring me up to the next thing, which is the community tab. So you may have noticed this with a bunch of YouTubers that are creators. There's something called the community tab where creators can now interact with their audience in a different way other than videos. So we got basically this system where we can take polls, ask questions, do updates, post pictures and stuff. And I've been using this tool to try and get the opinions of my audience to see how they want me to organize the channel. And I've been getting some good feedback, but I need more feedback. There's about 12,000 subscribers. I know not everyone is going to watch the same thing at the same time, and a lot of videos obviously don't even hit anywhere near that amount of views. But the point is, those of you who do consistently watch the channel, I want to hear your opinion. In the community section, I really would love to see what you guys think and let me know. So that way I can do things better. I don't want to get too hectic and too crazy and too tangent on a lot of different things because this channel is kind of just everywhere at the moment. But keep an eye out for those polls and questions because that will dictate how I go about everything moving forward. But I just wanted to bring that up to everyone to let them know that those options and everything are there. I do look at them. I do take them seriously. And I do want to hear from you. So moving on. So we talked about the community tab. What's next is, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna mess up your name plenty. Welcome, my mini.
Welcome to the stream. So,
Yeah.
I wrote
Well,
down...
she was there in the beginning.
Oh, to the channel.
Yeah.
Oh.
She was the first person out of the stream,
Oh.
but apparently she's new to the channel. So,
Oh, welcome to the channel. It's always good to have extra people, coming on in. But, okay, I wrote down what questions I asked already. Oh, yeah. In terms of questions that I've already asked in terms of the polls. So if I go to the poll section really quick, I'll give you kind of an idea of what I'm getting at in terms of the questions I'm asking because they are pretty important. Things like, do you want me to have a structured upload schedule or should I upload as soon as I can? There are 5 people that voted for 100% to just upload as soon as I can instead of having a predetermined date and time in which I upload. A lot of YouTubers do have a predetermined date and time because strategically doing it that way gets you a higher chance of people seeing it at a time when they can view it because it'll pop up in their notifications depending on how they're subscribed. Whereas I just upload it as quickly as I can and people can get to it when they get to it. There's other things like notifications of when I'm going to be live streaming. I try to post that about 30 minutes in advance so people can see that. But also, there's questions like, what kind of videos do you want me to make? And I put that as a poll, reviews, tutorials, and aquarium vlogs. And reviews got 36%, tutorials got 45%, and aquarium vlogs got 18%. So I have to keep that kind of demographic in mind because I don't want to do too much of one thing and alienate an entire group of people who subscribe to me for any particular reason. I want to make sure I try to please as many people as I can by doing a variety of different things, but staying within the confines of what is true to this channel. So that's just something I want to make sure everyone is, aware of. Those options are there. I want to know what you guys think, and I want to see your feedback. So the only other thing we have really slated today to talk about is some of the comments that I've received in the past week or so. So moving over to the comments, I read the comments on my videos. I see almost every comment that gets made. That's one of the things about being a kind of okay, I'm not a big YouTuber in any sense. I've only got about little under 12,000 subscribers, so I'm still pretty small in the grand scheme of things, but because of that, I get more time to talk to you guys individually because I'm not swamped with a lot of stuff in terms of all that. So we got some comments. Okay, I'm trying to find some interesting comments. Like, okay, there's one person who commented. I try to keep it to comments that need to have clarification. Okay. There's a gentleman, Robert Dillon, who commented about a video on CCAM stability. It's bacteria in a bottle that you have for your aquariums. It's how you seed your filter to build up a biological filter in your system so that you can convert ammonia to nitrate. Now, there was some questionability as to why this sort of product works for some people and why it doesn't. I tried to address some reasons as to why that may or may not be the case. Robert Dillon brought up some interesting points that are worth noting, that the bacteria in this form is in... it's in the form of a spore, essentially, which is a much more resilient form than it just being live and free-floating. Now, there is things like TurboStart, which is a refrigerated bacteria, has a very short shelf life, and is, as far as I know, a free-floating, live, ready-to-go bacteria. That's why it gets things set up super quick. But Seachem Stability is not in that way, and that's why they're able to sell it much less expensively, able to ship it and put it on a store shelf that's not refrigerated, etc. Now, they can still die under extreme conditions, but the point that he wanted to bring up is maybe that issue of whether the product is being shipped in the cold or the heat is not as big as a deal as I made it out to be. And it very well could be the case. It's something to look into and to think about. It's something that I should really contact Seachem about and see what their personal opinion on the subject is. There's also some comments about Seachem Matrix, whether it's just pumice or if it is something special. Now, this is a widely debated thing. Some people insist it is just pumice. Some people say, no, it's not. The gentleman was saying that it is just like certified, clean, and proven pumice. Is it? I don't know. I've never looked at... I mean, I've seen pictures of pumice versus matrix on a molecular scale. They do appear to have differences. Pumice does work for a lot of people, though. And last but not least, the issues with Amazon, where people scam Amazon in order to get free stuff. It does happen. I've seen it happen. I've seen the reviews. I've seen the pictures. I've seen and heard of people doing it. It's not something new. It's not going to change. It's not going away. That I stand firm on. People do take advantage of Amazon's good faith. Way too much.
Quick question.
Shoot.
I know at least 5 years. How long have you been YouTubing?
I have been on YouTube since 2006, I believe. So over 10 years now. But when I first started YouTube, oh my God, this channel had absolutely no remnants of what it is right now. When I first started this channel, this was like for funny videos that I was making. I had just started learning to make videos with Windows Movie Maker on XP.
Oh, I missed that program.
Oh man.
What I did was I would get little plastic army figures. I would add like scenes, and there was a game, Medal of Honor Allied Assault, where
Good game.
It was a good game, but there's the best part is in the program files, all the audio was just a list of MP3s that you could play. So I got all these all these battle sounds from the game, and I just made like little scenes of little like green soldier men shooting and killing each other, and like this and that, and like dialogue.
Probably been taken off for copyright.
Well, I got rid of it a long time ago because there was a lot of things like when I first started, what got me into doing the reviews was back then I was really into airsoft. I had just started getting into airsoft when I was younger, and I did a review on the UHC 1911 that you could get on, I forget what website it was, but I think it was Shorty USA, something like that. But point is, I did a review on that particular product, and it started getting a lot of views, a lot more than I thought it would, to the point where it actually got more views than where it was being advertised at, where it was being sold. And I thought to myself, well, I guess people like hearing what I have to say. So I started focusing more about reviews and more about reviews until the point where in high school, I think it was. Yeah, it was sometime in high school. I actually had the first time where a company contacted me asking me to do a review of their product. I thought, well, this is interesting. So I tried it, and everything went well. It was pretty cool. And every once in a while, I would get companies who wanted me to review products of that. Now, obviously, I disclose that as best I can. And I also now have a legal disclaimer that I give to all companies saying that I get to review the product how I want, regardless of how you feel, and regardless of how I got the product, whether you like it or not, whether it's a positive or negative review, I don't care. You know, that's just how I roll.
That's very interesting. A question that's being asked, and I honestly thought about pointing this out earlier. The reason why myself and Mike are yawning so much is it's 1:30 in the morning, and both of us are used to waking up in a couple hours. Andrew, on the other hand, is largely nocturnal and actually tends to go to sleep when we end up going to work.
That's true. That's also why this live stream is at like the most bizarre time.
For our time zone, anyway.
Yeah, like the only people that might be like awake right now are probably people in India.
Honestly, we actually get mostly Americans if you look at the people who hop on the live stream.
Yeah,
Well-
I've been up almost, at this point, almost 22 hours. So,
Yeah, and I woke up at 5 p.m.
screw you.
I tend to wake up about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
So there's a reason why I'm much more lively, and these guys are kind of bringing the vibe down.
Not trying to.
I know. But no, that's how I got into the whole reviewing thing. Is just because people were listening to what I had to say, and then I started getting a lot better at it. And at one point, I was in the top 2,000 reviewers out of everyone on Amazon, which is a very hard rank to hold because I only do video reviews, and people who do text reviews, the algorithm that Amazon bases its ranking off of can quantify how good the review is much easier off of a text review than it can a video review. I have to rely solely on people voting versus an algorithm that Amazon uses to try and judge how good a review is.
Are you still up high in the reviews?
I'm within the top 2,500, but I'm not in the top 2,000 anymore. It's a very hard rank to hold down in that spot. My goal is to one day be in the top 1,000 as a video reviewer because it's a lot. I mean, that's a monumentous task, but hopefully one day I can get there. Now, I do once in a while plug my Amazon page, and I actually do have an Amazon, not an affiliates page, an influencer page where if you buy stuff off of the link that I give you, I get a little kickback. I've never actually implemented that. And here's why. Because if I do something like that, especially on a review, it's a direct conflict of interest. If I say this or that about a product and then post a link where you can buy it. Where I come in as a reviewer is I need to be an unbiased third party. I can link to the product, sure, whether I say whether it's good or not. And I can get that kickback if someone clicks on it, but I don't do it because it doesn't seem like an authentic and reasonable thing to do. I think that would discredit me, and I think my honesty and the reliability of my opinion is more important than some little bits of cash that I would get back from someone clicking on a link. That's my integrity is worth more to me than a little bit of cash here and there. So what I do is I get my money from the ad revenue that's placed before the video is ever placed. I have no control over that. I don't know what it is, and it's mostly targeted ads nowadays. So the ads are probably going to be specific to you, but it's probably not even going to be something related to what I'm talking about. But that's how I get any money that I get. I've had companies that wanted to pay me to do a review, and I tell them no, I don't do that, because that's again a conflict of interest. You know, getting paid to do a review, a paid opinion is not a reliable one. I mean that's bribery. I don't function like that. And I've actually reported companies for it before directly to Amazon. I've also reported companies to the Better Business Bureau. I've worked with these large or alongside of these large entities to try and legitimize more things about reviews in the internet. I do take them very seriously, and if you go on my channel, the main page, the first video is going to pop up is my code of ethics on how I review products, and it goes into pretty good detail. It has the exact words that I send to every company that wants to send me a product that they have to agree to, and I won't change that for any reason. That doesn't change. I call the shots on how it gets reviewed. Whether it's a negative or a positive review, they don't get any say in it. So I come from as much of a neutral point of perspective as I possibly can. And I also turn down reviews because lately I've probably got like 20 or 30 companies backlogged trying to contact me to do a review on a product. Some of the products I'm simply not qualified to review. Some of the products are simply just too absolutely boring, and I've covered that kind of thing before. And some of the companies are expecting too much. for like the wrong reasons. Like, and I won't work with companies that don't value honesty over everything. So there's a lot of companies I turn down for stuff like that. There are companies out there that are reasonable, that will agree to my terms, and I think it's more honorable that way. If you're willing to send me a product knowing that I could give it a really terrible review, that means you stand by your product and think it's a good thing. But too many times I get what's called white label companies sending me their products. What a white label company is in China, there's one blanket manufacturer that makes a product, and they call it, these are white label companies. And then the other companies come to them and say, hey, put our brand logo on it, and then we are going to take that product from you that we buy at like $1 and turn around and sell it for $10 with our logo on it. Things like that happen all the time. I don't care for it. I don't like to deal with anything that's white label. So if it's a genuine product, specifically from a company that makes it themselves, I am much more interested. But I fear I'm talking too much about the reviews. Tutorials, I try to focus on stuff that has not been explained as good as it should have been in other places of the internet. I try to clarify, make it much more easy, much more step by step, more steps talked about than other people who do tutorials, because there's like large gaps in information. If you've never done something before, you need every single step talking, you know, so ELI 5 sort of situation. But last thing we'll talk about before we end the live stream, since we were talking about it earlier, is Patreon. Will I do a Patreon? Probably not, and realistically, not unless there is like a serious drive for it and we are like really gun-ho and we have like a solid, secure plan, something that we can promise will happen with the money. Because we don't just want a Patreon to go being directly into our pockets for no good reason. That doesn't make sense. A Patreon needs to have a purpose, whether it's buying equipment, getting more opportunities to do better videos with different things. But we currently don't have that sort of structure set up at the moment, so there's no point in doing a Patreon right now. There's no point in asking for anyone's money.
Should do the coffee one.
Coffee?
Yeah, that's one where you can throw the money for coffee. Like, you don't give a certain amount, you give a certain number of coffees. Don't worry about it.
Coffee or energy drinks?
I honestly have no idea what he's going on about. But
Coffee. For fueling us. To keep us awake.
Yeah, no, like, think Patreon where they give you money, but instead of them giving you, you know, however many dollars they want, they give you a amount of money based on the number of coffees you can buy in your area. So they're literally
For
buying
you,
coffees.
per bag of sugar.
man.
Maybe it's not.
Well, I don't think there's much need for coffee, but I will say this.
Plus there's-
Okay.
How much were you yawning?
Okay, well, on that note, we have talked about everything we need to talk about. And unless you two have anything else that you want to add to the stream here, is there anything you guys want to go over real quick before we end the stream?
Well, with Card VR, that's going to be another huge list of vehicles. Probably vehicles that the viewers will ask for us to do, both imports and domestics.
Yeah, and to be clear, we're not going to be like Doug Muro where he gets access to like $1 million cars. Like, first off, no one's going to trust people under 40 with a car like that. It's going to be more realistic at first, and maybe somewhere along the lines we'll get the ability to do something weird and exotic. But Car VR, like I said, that is a ways away. As far as our VR 360 content goes, we are much closer and much more realistically able to start working on certain projects involving the food.
It would include, to get that one going, we're going to need a good rig to do the...
The
Yeah.
good rig comes second, just on the simple fact that even a bad rig, or the rig we have, will function for the purpose. It just means we push them out a little slower.
Yeah. So we've already gone over this already. If there's anything that we haven't gone over that you can think of.
We kind of touched on it, but I would like to
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
stopping
you.
on by. It's always good to have people coming on. Like I said,
And-
we
Gingerbread, you know. Wait, no, is his butt still out here? Or has he left yet?
no, Jason.
He just got back out.
Yeah, he's here for a few days. We
Okay. Come say hi. Like, seriously. Maybe join us.
yeah, no, we actually have some plans.
Oh, what'd you say?
We actually do have some plans to meet up with our good friend Jason.
My friend said hi. Hi, friend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
She's
hello.
sorry, he, she. Anyway, my Minnie is multitasking and talking to someone else, so I told them to say hi to us.
Gotcha.
Oh.
All right. Well, on that note, we are done for the live stream. So thanks for joining us. If you didn't get us live, this video will be here to reference back to at any given points. And we're going to try and do what we can. Every once in a while, we will be doing a live stream. We're thinking most likely they're going to be on Tuesdays. But don't hold us to that specifically because we're still working that plan out. We don't want to do arbitrary live streams at random because we do want people to be able to get a time when they can come in and interact with us. We do want to talk to you, we do want to chat, and we do want to see what you guys think.
Tuesdays or weekends, because, you know, that's when we're all free. But
Wow.
it's nice to say typing with you as well.
All right, so with that, we are gonna end. So Sam, go ahead, hit that button.
We got
Till
three
next time.
college-age people signing off. Have a nice night.
And-
Whatever it's week.
And